Good morning, students. Today we're going to talk a little bit more about electricity. Our basic essential question for today is, how do you install a simple wiring system? And our objective for today's lesson is to demonstrate how to install a duplex receptacle. So remember from our tool ID, this is a duplex receptacle. Where do we see a duplex receptacle in the classroom or in our home? Where do we use these things? What else do we call this? Yeah.
You mean like on the wall, their power source?
Sure, it's just a power source on the wall, or sometimes we call it a plug outlet, but this is basically what we plug our basic appliances into to get power from it. So we can assume it's got power going to it. It's got some different things that we've talked about. What we're going to do is I'm going to put you guys into groups, and we're going to do a quick review to make sure that we understand the concept of what electricity is and what power is. Now, I've got a group of 3 over here. I'm just going to let you guys work together, and I've got a group of 2 over here, and I may give you guys a little bit of extra help since you're a person down to do this. But what I want you to do in your group is one person is going to define what electricity is and to define what a circuit is. So that's one person's job, to define what electricity is and what a circuit is. I want one person, remember we did our basic drawing of electricity. What I want one person to do is do just the basic drawing of a power source and a duplex receptacle. And then it's going to be someone else's job to put the wires in on that. So one person is the definer, is going to define those 2 words, electricity and circuit. The second person is going to draw those 2 things. And then the third person is going to put the wires in. And you guys can just put the wires and draw that together at the same time, okay? All right, I'm going to give you about 3 minutes to do that, so go ahead and go.
He wants to actually go ahead and start doing the wiring. Is that what you're saying?
No, I just want you to draw it.
So she's the power source and the plug, and then your neutral is the dotted line, and then your ground is dotted with the dot.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about process first. Which one should we draw first? You did okay, yeah, we should probably do the ground first and draw that in there, but then otherwise you got it absolutely perfect. Okay.
And this one
And that actually will connect, but we don't have to draw it connected because this is going to connect to the duplex receptacle. Remember, we talked about the different color screws on the duplex receptacle. This has got a green screw, and that's where we connect that ground to. But we don't want to mess it up with our drawings because our drawings are going to get a little bit more complex over the next week or so. So if we just draw that ground going across the top. Now the other thing to point out is your ground has a dot right there. It's a dashed dot, just to make sure it looks different. And if we want to, maybe in a couple of weeks, once we get a little more advanced with this, we don't even need to draw the ground because we'll know in our mind what the ground does. But for now, for just kind of an introductory, we're going to draw the ground. You guys got it?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, are you guys good over here? You got the definitions, got it drawn? Awesome. So now what I want you guys to do, real quick, this group, give me your definition of electricity.
Electricity is the flow of electrons.
And the flow of electrons, did that match your group's definition?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now you guys give me your definition of a circuit.
A circuit is a complete course of conductors through which current can travel.
All right. Did that match your definition? All right, we are rocking and rolling. I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it. And let's do this for the review process. I want one group, I want you guys, one person from your group, you decide to draw the power source and the duplex receptacle on the board. Once they get done, I'm going to let you guys draw the wires up here on the board for that.
So just draw the 2 things?
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
Good.
Yep.
Okay, my box might be a little off.
I don't know why you said your box was off, because that is absolutely perfect. All right, now you guys have the hard part. You got to put some wires in there. So which one of you guys would like to put the wires in there? Now, if you want to get fancy, remember we talked about what color the ground wire was and what color those others, so you can use color-coded markers if you want. How does that look to you guys? Does that look good? All right, that looks perfect to me. Nice job, Moji. One thing that I would kind of like for you to fix going forward, and it doesn't really matter that much for just a simple one, but as we get a little bit more complex, the process is important to do ground first and then do neutral and then do the power and run the power first, and you'll thank me later because it gets a little bit more complex and it's easier just to do it the other way. So you'll understand why we're going to do that. All right, I'm 95% sure that you guys understand this. To make me 100% sure, give me a thumbs up if you 100% understand this and we're ready to move forward. All right, I got all thumbs up. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go to the next step here. We're going to actually do the wiring part of it. So we've talked about electricity as a big overall general concept. We've talked about drawing and how this works. Now we're going to do the nuts and bolts of actually wiring this. So if we wanted to, we could pull out this plug over here, and let's say that plug goes out. Something is bad with that. We could pull that out and we could replace that with a new plug. What are some other reasons that we might need to do something like that? To replace a plug outlet or maybe install a plug outlet. Why might we need to do that? So check out this plug outlet over here. It's just got two T-shaped holes, right? Why might we choose to replace that plug outlet?
It's outdated because now they have a ground that usually goes with the plug.
Okay, yeah, it doesn't have a ground with a plug. Now, we may have some whole other issues here that the building's not grounded, and if we install that, it's not going to work. But let's just say the building is grounded. If that's the case, we could pull that sucker out, put a new one in there, and we would be in good shape. Another example, maybe it goes out. What about if we're building a new building? We might need to install that. This would be something easy that you could do. Let's say you're building an outshed or a building, something like that, and you wanted to have a plug outlet. You could wire this for electricity and save some money not hiring an electrician to do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the step-by-steps of wiring a duplex receptacle, and how this is going to work is I'm going to show you how to do it, and then I'm going to have one of you guys do it, and then you guys are going to do it on your own. So what I want you to do is take 30 seconds to read over these steps on here, and then just look up at me when you're done reading the steps. All right, once you're done reading this, we need to practice good safety habits for this. I'm going to have you guys go over to the cabinet and grab some safety glasses and then come gather around this table so you can watch me perform this. Go ahead and do that. Are those safety glasses you're wearing?
It can be.
Okay. Yeah, mine are safety glasses as well. You guys come gather around me because you're going to actually watch me do this. All right. Moji, would you read step 1 for us?
Draw the complete circuit.
Draw the complete circuit. Check that out. It is done up on the board. Moji, you did an awesome job doing that. All right, step number 2. You get somebody else to read that?
Turn off power.
All right. Turn off power to the circuit or to the outlet. So we're going to make sure that we go to the circuit breaker and turn off power, or you may have a pretty bad day or a bad hair day at any rate. So number 3.
Make sure that you have all your safety.
All right, make sure that you've got your safety equipment, absolutely. So you guys have safety glasses on. Looks pretty good there. What's number 4?
Determine what type of wire is needed.
Determine what type of wire is needed. We didn't talk a lot about this when we were drawing this stuff. So we have some different types of Romex that we can use. Remember, this stuff is called Romex. And we either have 2-wire Romex or 3-wire Romex. And what we need to do to determine that is count the number of wires here. Now, I count 3 wires. But I'm telling you the answer is going to be we're going to use 2-wire Romex. And that's because the ground wire doesn't count. If you look at this Romex and there's a piece sitting there on the table, you can see there are 3 wires on them, but we're only going to count the 2 wires. So we determined that we need 2-wire Romex. All right, what's the next step?
Bring wire into your receptors.
Okay, we're going to bring wire into the receptacle. So we're going to pretend like this is our power source here, and then this is our electrical outlet here. This is where we're going to be wiring the duplex receptacle. All right, and then I want to make sure that I can pull it out how far?
6 inches.
All right, so I want to be able to make sure that I can pull out 6 inches. I have about 3 inches right now, so I need to get just a little bit more. I think I got it. All right, that's pretty good. And the reason that we want to do that is that's a code, and if we can't pull it out more than 6 inches, we have a code violation. All right, my next step.
Prepare wires.
All right, and then step 1 is going to be I'm going to use the wire ripper to expose the individual wires, and the way this works is it's got a little tooth on it there. You guys remember this from your tool ID lesson, correct? Mm-hmm. And we're going to rip and pinch it down, and it's going to cut into the wire there, and we're going to rip that back to expose these individual wires. So now I have my neutral wire, which is the white one, my hot wire, which is the black one, and the ground wire, which is the copper wire that doesn't have any plastic coating on it. And then I can just cut this off and move all this stuff back. All right, what's my next step? Step 6B.
Use wire stripper to expose 1/2 inch, my bad, of the copper wire.
All right, so look on this tool. This is 12 gauge Romex, so I'm going to use the 12 spot. This might be 14. And I'm going to pull that back to expose 1/2 inch. I didn't quite get 1/2 inch there of that wire. All right, and then my next step. See, that's why we wear safety glasses. Sorry, Rochelle.
You're fine.
What's the next step?
Curve the wires, the end of the wires.
Okay, I'm going to curve the end of all of the wires to make them into a hook, and you can see that tool right there is perfect for just curving those ends of the wires. All right, number 7.
Attach the green wire to the ground screw on the receptacle.
Okay, I've got a green wire or the ground wire, and I'm going to attach it to the ground screw. And the note on that says to make sure
It's clockwise.
it's clockwise. What happens if it's not clockwise?
You'll actually like push it out
Unscrew it.
whenever you type.
Absolutely.
Tighten the screw.
So we need to make sure that it's tightened all the way down there and then it's wrapping clockwise. I probably could have done a little better job of wrapping that and pinching that down. I'll make sure to do that on my next ones. Make a little bit better of a hook. All right, so I'm going to do that with all of them. I'm going to attach the black wire to what color screw?
Gold.
Mm-hmm. Now, anybody tell me what I did wrong there?
Yeah, you're not going with the green.
That's right. I did it counterclockwise, so I need to take that one off and put that on the right way.
Easiest way to say it.
Not going with the grain. I like it.
It's a wood shop thing.
Yeah.
We'll get to that unit later. How's my time looking? Okay. All right, and then we're going to do the same thing with the white wire. Now, it's important on this to make sure that we're attaching it to the same level. We won't want to cross those.
Okay.
I want to put that on there. And then once we tighten that down, then we are done. What questions do you have?
We don't have to wire that side.
No, because this is just coming out of our power. I'll show you how to do this later.
Okay.
So the next step is bring it back to the box?
Yep, we would push it back to the box, screw it in, and then we would put a cover on that. Yep, and then we would be
And
done.
when you push it back, does all 6 inches have to be in the box? You don't have to pull it
Yep,
back out?
yep, we can't have that hanging out of the box, absolutely.
Okay.
All right, so what I'm going to have you guys do is you have toolboxes here. We have our receptacles here, and there's some extra in that bag if you need them. And then I'm going to cut off a little bit of wire here for you so you can start wiring your own there. So you guys can go ahead and get started with that.
We're doing them individually or in our groups?
You're doing these individually. Mhm. You guys will need some of this wire, so
We don't have enough wood things.
that's fine. If we don't have enough of the wood things, you can just get one of these, one of the new ones, and use those.
Yeah, we don't need both of them.
Oh, I got
Yep,
it.
yep, you just need one or the other. And I'll let you use my toolbox. I'm sorry, emoji. You don't need that. If you, nope. Does everyone have wire?
Do I just pop that out?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, you can just take your screwdriver and pop that right out. Yep, that may be a little more than 6 inches, but you definitely want more than less. Yep, because the code reads at least 6 inches. I think I stole your wire strippers. You looking for
Yes.
a ripper? Looks like you're doing pretty well. Need the. Yeah. There's a little piece right here that moves and it comes out. The wire you have is 14 gauge, so make sure you use the 14 number when you're stripping that. Now I like how you're using the long nose pliers to do that, and it may make a little bit better hook than the wire stripper. You can use either. You're looking at the numbers on there?
Yeah,
Yep.
14, right?
14, yep.
Yeah, if you get
Mhm.
longer and then.
And squeeze it and then just pull it out real quick.
Goes easier.
There you go.
It's not cutting. I did it several times because it's not working.
Be tough.
Be tough.
Strong, bub.
So we use the 14 and then just pull. So you just clamp and then pull down.
That's what I'm doing.
All right, looks like you got your hooks made and ready to go.
Just having problems getting it at the right angle to get it done.
Oh, there it is. I got it.
All right, we've got a lot of these little ends that are kind of flying around, so it's okay, just leave them where we are now. If you're working at a construction site, you could just leave them on the floor and then sweep them up at the end of the day. But since this is a classroom and not a construction site, we're gonna have to clean those up once we finish. So just pay attention to where they're going. Looks like you got yours going. So when you're making these hooks, you want to use this little end right here to make the hooks. Or something that Catherine was doing is using the needle nose pliers to kind of pinch the end and then hook it around. Might be a little easier to use those. Okay, yeah, it looks like you might have made your hooks a little bit too long, but you may just have to go with that. Because if you make your hooks, if you keep bending that wire back and forth, the wire's gonna eventually break. So see if you can make it work with that. It should be okay. Yep, that'll work.
So we don't have a.
Yeah, you should have duplex receptacles in your box. Sorry, I didn't tell you that.
Does it matter like which of these two screws that we're supposed to use, or as long as they correspond?
Yeah, as long as they go to the same side.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Now tomorrow what we're going to do is we're actually going to add another box on there, and then it's going to matter.
Okay.
Would you like to check this? So we just have to draw that back in.
All right, so do you think this looks good?
Yes, sir.
All right, the one thing that I would get you to fix is I would get you to screw those down all the way, and then
Okay.
other than that, I think it looks perfect.
Okay, good deal.
Yeah, nice job.
Hooks are facing the wrong direction. No, I'm like having a problem twisting them around. I just
Okay, I think I'm
the other
done.
way.
All right.
I was gonna try to push it back down.
Yeah, no, that looks great. Yeah, yours is kind of a weird one. It's not going to fit in that box. That's kind of our old school box, but it works just for the sake of what we're doing in this class. How's it going over here?
Last screw.
You lost a screw.
Last screw.
Oh, your last screw. Okay.
Okay.
Now, when you're working with electricity, it's more important to be right than be fast.
Yes.
But you look like you got both there. Nice job. All right, When you guys are finished with that, you can start taking it apart and go ahead and clean up your tools. You guys are getting real close, huh?
Oh. Did you happen to get that white one that fell?
I think so, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, the
All right.
flip is not.
Let's see what you got. All right, I think that's perfect. So why don't you go ahead and clean up here, and we'll go ahead and start putting this away. Let's see what you got. Oh, yeah, I think that's absolutely awesome. That looks perfect. Go ahead and start taking it apart and then clean up your tools. I'll go ahead and take mine apart while you guys are cleaning up as well.
Is this wire trash?
That wire is not trash because that's bright copper, and it gets a pretty good amount of money. Plus, we can reuse those when we're doing our wiring stuff tomorrow. So we're definitely not gonna throw that away. All right, once you guys get done with that over there, what I'll ask you to do is come over here and help me clean up some stuff, and these guys, make sure you're keeping your safety glasses on while you're doing that. And you have all the tools in your box there. Okay, where did those needle nose pliers come from? Those long nose pliers?
Where you want to put the wire?
Why don't you just make a stack on that desk?
Did you say you wanted help cleaning up?
Mm-hmm. We'll put these ends over here with this.
Can we put it in this one?
Yeah. That's where I got it at. Perfect. All right. Everything looks good. We're just going to put these last two toolboxes up real quick, and then I'll have you guys grab a seat, and we'll do our review for today and talk about what we're going to do tomorrow. Yep. Yep, take off your safety glasses and put those away. Thanks, Moji. All right. Someone raise their hand and tell me what you learned today that you did not know how to do before.
That when you're putting the wire on, it always has to go clockwise.
All right. Wire has to go clockwise.
Whenever you're drawing, you have to start with the ground wire, then the neutral, and then the live wire.
Okay, perfect. So we learned the order of wiring. One more person. Rochelle.
Make sure your screws are tight.
Okay, you got to make sure all of the screws are tight, not just the one that you're tightening down here. So what we're going to do tomorrow is we're going to add some stuff to this. So the first thing that we're going to do tomorrow is we're going to add a duplex receptacle to this. And then we're going to start playing around with some light switches and maybe some different types of light. But I appreciate your hard work and your appreciation today, and thanks for getting stuff all cleaned up and getting the safety glasses squared away. You guys did an awesome job. Thank you so much.